Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister responsible for Novopay. Does he stand by his comment with regard to Novopay? I want to see within 3 months a situation where, as much as possible, workloads from administrators are back to where they were before this thing started. If so, when did he make that statement?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, yes, and I can advise the member that the most recent pay period reports show complaints and notifications for pay periods 2, 3 and 4 this year were at 0.09%, 0.11% and 0.18% respectively. With the exception of issues that arose for the 3 start-of-year pay periods this year, all pay periods since the time I made that statement have been below the 0.5% steady-state level identified by the Novopay technical review, and that statement was made in March of last year.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Is he satisfied that the workload of school administrators are back to where they were, given over a year after he made that statement, over 1,250 schools still had outstanding backlog issues, and almost 2,000 schools were reporting that they were still experiencing problems? If so, why?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm not sure where the member is getting that particular piece of information from. But the reality is actually the numbers are considerably lower than that from pay period to pay period. There are historic things that are being still resolved, as there has been for many years, including the previous system, which the member recommended to the Minister at the time be replaced because it had too many issues with it.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, Chris Hipkins.
For the Minister's help, I seek leave to table the weekly backlog clearance unit report from the Ministry of Education to the Minister from the 7th of February.
I will put the leave is sought to table that particular document. Is there any objection? There is none. It can be tabled.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker.
Order. 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 I'm just waiting for supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Is he satisfied that a year after he made that statement, Novopay still had over $9.3 million in debts outstanding to recover and was still making errors that resulted in hundreds of thousands of dollars of new debt being created? If so, why?
Honourable Stephen
Well,
Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, the member needs to be clear that the total amount of outstanding debt originally was $18 million, and actually about $10 million of that has been collected. Yes, there's still debt to be collected. That relies, of course, on people paying that money back, which they're doing over a period of time. In fact, this system and the previous system both create debt that needs to be repaid through overpayments. And in fact, this system inherited a number from the previous system. Well, actually, it's true, which is why that member advised the previous government to change that system, and I only wish they hadn't listened.
Not true at all. Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is he satisfied that Novopay will ever be able to work effectively, given recent defect reports still highlighted 125 serious or very serious defects with the system itself, and if so, why?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, I think it identified about 2 very serious defects in that previous report. There are some other serious defects, there's no doubt about that, down from around 600 about 14 months ago to some today, and those defects do occur, but I can tell the member the system is running a lot better and actually well within what the technical reviews said. If he's about to suggest we replace Novopay, with respect, I probably won't take his advice and only wish the previous government hadn't taken his advice when they decided to replace the Datacom system.
Full of blame, no answers. Mr. Speaker, supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister, will schools be given any further support to cover the cost of administering the Novopay payroll system, given over a year and a half has now passed and they are still experiencing major problems, resulting in time and energy that should be going into supporting kids' education, instead going into dealing with the ongoing payroll chaos that Novopay has created?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, the member completely mischaracterises the situation today. He completely mischaracterises. I appreciate that this was the same sort of panicky approach he took back when he was advising the Minister about replacing the previous pay system, but actually the system is running a lot better. There are still some issues. Oh, for goodness sake, shut up.
Order.
Shut up, you clown.
Order. 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 When I rise to my feet, I expect the member to stop his barracking. Question number... Order. Order. And I'd also be grateful if there was less interjection from this side of the House. Question number 9, Dr Cam Calder.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister for Tertiary Education.